Good afternoon. Hello. It is afternoon in Texas, where I am, and that's why I'm saying good afternoon. But I don't know, whatever time you are in, please receive my greetings. Thank you very much for coming on board, for viewing this video. When you come to it, know that I say thank you, that you've seen it. And now, I also would like to say thank you to those who have subscribed to this YouTube channel. Thank you so very much. And I want to invite the others who have not subscribed. Guess what? You need to subscribe, because this is a journey. I welcome you to this journey. Let's walk it together. Let's do life together. We don't have to be bored about life. We need to have fun. We need to laugh. We need to make merry. We need to feel good. And we need to learn from one another. So welcome on board. Please, how you can be part of this family is by hitting the subscribe button, the red button down there. And then it will write subscribed. Right now it's in red, but it will write subscribe and it will just look like gray, meaning that you have become part of this family. Then you can hit the notification bell, and whenever I upload a video, you will be able to get the notification, and then you can see what I've said or what I'm doing. To know this channel, it is by my name, and my name is Eunice Jeru. So this is Eunice Jeru YouTube channel. Welcome. When you watch a video, it's important to comment. It's very necessary, because we learn from those comments. We also get encouraged by those comments. We also get to know how you feel about it, and also share with others, laugh with them. Let them know that we can laugh, we can make anything to make life jolly. And share. Then, if you like it, there's this one, thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, and you'll have encouraged me and others who are on board with me. So this afternoon, I want to talk a little bit about immigrants. I'm an immigrant in the United States. But being an immigrant does not necessarily mean that you have to be overseas. You can be an immigrant within the continent where you're born. I'm born and brought up in Africa, Kenya. So if you're from Kenya or Ghana or wherever, and you move to another country, even within Africa, that makes you an immigrant, because you're not living within your country of birth. Even if you're in India and you move within Asian countries, you're still an immigrant within those Asian countries. And so this afternoon, I want to share with you my first journey of being an immigrant. My first journey of being an immigrant was within Africa. I moved from my country of birth many years back, and I decided, as usual, I'm gonna go look for greener pastures, because normally when you are home, there's this tendency of thinking that if you move out, life will be better and you will look for greener pastures. And my heart was convinced like that. And I decided I'm going to plan myself, and I'm going to leave Kenya. So I left Kenya. I looked for a visa to go to South Africa, and I was given the visa. And I went to an agent, booked a flight, and booked a hotel, because I didn't have a host. I didn't know anybody in South Africa. So I was just going to stay in the hotel. I know what next. Now, if you ask me what that one is, I don't know what you call it. But that one in my mother tongue, I was saying go 20 kabisa, that I'm going. I have to go. And so I had to book a hotel and go. In fact, I was going knowing nobody. All the information I had and just Googled. And I knew if all doesn't come well, because I booked a return ticket, if it doesn't work, back home. So I left. I went to JKI, took my flight and landed in Johannesburg, O.R. Tambo International Airport. And the hotel guys came for me. And I went to the hotel, of course, I relaxed, and the following morning. But point number one, something I want to mention here, it is, I don't know how, but I think it's God's connection, because I went to book my flight and hotel through an agent. I didn't know this agent. I was just introduced to an agent by a friend of mine who does safaris. I had requested her because I didn't know she doesn't do flights. We were in school together, and I had told her book for me a flight and a hotel to South Africa, Johannesburg particularly. But she told me, I don't book flights. I'm going to get somebody who does flights, and I introduce her to you. So I got introduced to this agent who booked my flight and my hotel. To go get to Johannesburg and to the hotel, I found that the hotel is owned by a Kenyan. That was a miracle. That was a blessing for me. And so now, of course, when I knew now I can talk. I can penya and talk to her. So after staying for some time, going around and enjoying myself, looking at the land. In fact, South Africa is a beautiful land. It is. Compared to Nairobi, which I was used to. Oh my. It is a good land. And I want to let you know that I was not alone. We were doing this with another colleague of mine. We had just agreed. She's a close friend of mine. And she was a colleague too. And so we had agreed. So we were two. So even if it's booking the hotel, we booked one room. She's a lady. And we are not lesbians. We are just good friends. Let me make that one very clearly. Because nowadays, you see two people doing things together. And no, we are just good friends. And we had said, this, because we were both teachers, this teaching is not doing as good. I'm tired. I'm leaving. And she told me I'm feeling the same. And I told her, let's get started. We are going to Google and we will go. And we are going to go the nearest where we can come back. So we went. So after staying in the hotel, we started talking to the owner of the hotel. Just the way you come out of the hotel to relax. Now you are from outside, you've seen the land, you've visited, because we were even going visiting. We visited, we had the idea of visiting, and through Googling, I had gotten in touch with a professor, because I'm a teacher, and I had gotten in touch with a professor in Pretoria, and he had assured me that I would get a scholarship. But I can't get a scholarship or grant until I go there, apply for the studies, talk my case, defend my case. So I knew all that was in the back of my mind. And so we went. And now we are at the point of we have to finish the holidays, because we arrived when it was holidays. And we had to finish the holidays so that we can take the next step. But during this holiday, when we were in the hotel, we happened now to talk to this owner of the hotel, who was a very, very loving lady. who gave us the advice on how to start life as an immigrant. She told us, you ladies, you don't have to go back. It was workable. You're gonna stay here and you're gonna harvest the fruit of the land. And true to the word, yes. But she told us, the first thing you do is to get a work permit, because your permit is not student visa, it is visitor visa. So, but if visitor visa expires, you're supposed to go back to your country. But you, because you've told me what your intentions are, you need a work permit. So she asked us, do you have money to pay for the permit? And of course, we had made arrangements and we had carried money. That is one point you should mark. That if you are migrating to another country where you have no host, even when you have host anyway, to start life, because especially when you do not know what you're going to do or whether you'll land a job or not, you need to have money. You need to have money. So we had carried money. And, okay, with America is different, because if you are coming with a green card, you are assured that after your green card, you will easily land a job. But this is a country where it doesn't have green card. So you can only get a work permit to get a job. And that one you have to apply and prove that you are an employee. And this lady helped us very much, because she told us, I am going to apply for you. I'm going to get a lawyer for you and tell them to apply for you, and you are my employees. And that was very, very kind of her, because she wrote all those documents for us. She's a Kenyan. She did that all for us. And within the first month, I had my work permit in my pocket. And now I could go any state of South Africa looking for a job and doing whatever I want to do, because I didn't have to fear the police. That was that. So now we have our permits in the pocket, and we decide now, especially me, I had connection now with professor in Pretoria. So we had to go to Pretoria, to near the university. And we moved now from the hotel, and she showed us where the buses are, and we moved. It's not quite a long distance from Johannesburg to Pretoria, and we moved to Pretoria. The first day she told us, go to Pretoria first, look for a house, and come back. Then once you get the house, you can now come for your things. And that's exactly what happened. So we took a day, went to Pretoria, got a house. One thing you're supposed to know, catch a shock, that houses in South Africa, you share. One house can have 16 people. Me, I did not see that in Kenya. No. I had not seen one house with 16 people. You cook in tons. The fridge is divided. Eunice and so your rank is that one for the fridge. You put your food there. The others here. The others here. And if you want to buy your own small fridge, you can. You want to buy your own small thing, you can. You put where your bed is. That was a culture shock for me. But that was the life. So we got, hey, Jesus Christ, Eunice, you have tried to. We got a house in Pretoria. And this lady was a pastor. God was still directing us. She was from Zimbabwe, but she was a pastor. How we landed with her, onto her hands, we were just buying some fruit at a vendor place in Pretoria. A lady was selling apples, and we decided let's buy apples. We'll go eating, because South Africa people walk eating on the road properly. So when we were buying those apples, we told that lady we are looking for a house to rent. And she told us, a pastor friend of mine, and told us if I get some people who are looking for a house, she has room. And we were taken to her, and she accommodated us. So we went back to Johannesburg, took our luggage, and the following day we relocated to Pretoria. And the journey of immigrant began. Looking for a job, going to apply for the studies, and getting the grant. The thing is, Eunice, The person who had promised me to get me through in Pretoria, when we went, the guy had left. Huh? Yes, he was not there. And it's not by bad. Professor had just, you go for greener pastures, and left for another state. But let me tell you, when God directs your footsteps, you can never make a mistake. Much as it may not seem like your sweet potato is growing that day, know the roots are still on the ground and they'll still become a sweet potato. Much as you see that vine, just the vine and the leaves on top of the ground, no sweet potato, the roots are down and they'll still become a sweet potato. So what happened is this. I'm a language teacher. I was trained languages. And so I was going to the language department of University of South Africa to enroll for my studies. And I went and spoke my case. Now, having known that the person who was supposed to show me the way and who was supposed to help me with the grant is not there, I had to speak to a new person altogether and start the process afresh. Forget about my R and R. Now that one is now betraying me, the way I come from. But I'm trying, much as I am a language teacher. Sometimes you cannot remove the donkey or the cow from the feeding and you expect it to be all town one. No, it still remembers the grass. So forget about my flesh, it is fresh. So, when I entered into the office now, my friend was not in the same department with me. She's not in linguistics. So we could not go in the same department. She had to go to a different department. But I went to the linguistic department and I knocked and I found a white lady. And I sat down and explained my case to her. Guess what? Favor of God. She liked what I do, what I wanted to do with the languages, what I intended to study, the journey I have walked, because I explained, I am a detailed person. I explained to her in details. She liked it and she told me, I will take up your case. Go and bring your documents. She took up my case. Within 2 weeks, I was registered. Within a month, my pesa had started coming in. Money for study. But guess what? Was I ready to study or pay school fees for my son? Huh? I was writing slowly one day. Money Savirisha Kenya. Go library once a week. Money Savirisha Kenya. Why? Hey, man. You left children. My one baby, I have only one, by the way, let me not use children. But of course, the family is big. And left him, and I had left him in campus. And we had talked that I had told him I would still be sending his school fees, his college fees, and upkeep. I had not told him that I had left the job. And this is my God who has opened doors that the university is giving me grant to study. Can I use all of it, please, on study? Even you, being a mother, can you do that? You can't. You have to send back home. You have to. And that's what I did. And of course, again, I started doing Viparua now. You know, of course, you don't expect, this is not your mother country. You don't expect that you will go straight and somebody accepts you to a white collar job the way we call them in Africa. In the offices. No. And I thank God for the lady in Kenya. She had told me, Eunice, whatever work you find to do, do it because your intention is to study. So what you need is money for upkeep. So once you get money for upkeep and the university is paying for your studies, you're good to go. It will take a few years and you graduate. And that's what I did. So I continued doing manual jobs. I sold Mogathe. Mogathe is called what now? necklaces. I sold necklaces in the Maasai market for South Africa. There's Maasai market there. I went there, sold necklaces, my dear Lord. Those people buy African items. There are so many whites in South Africa. And they buy African items, especially from Kenya. They love them. I sold mokade to them a lot. We did that. Okay, my friend moved to a different town again. She relocated where she got the job. And we became separate now. We were communicating on phone. But we were doing okay. Because she got job, I got job. I was having a daytime job. And weekends I was going mokade thing. Mokade. Selling. And getting money. And my life was not bad. It was okay. But the one thing I suffered. And the thing you suffer is, you know, before you learn to fit into the situation, you still feel like you've made a mistake to leave your monthly paying job. There's that tug of war in the heart. Have I done the right decision, or am I messing up my life? Before you come to agree, no, it's doable. You have to suffer in the heart. The other thing which made me shocked is the culture shock of food now. South Africa, me, I'm not brought up like that. Where you sit down, I've told you that people live one place, many people. So, somebody comes and eats and does not even ask you, do you want? Even if you don't want. The way I'm brought up is like, can you have? Can we share? Please welcome. I can't just sit down and start eating before I've told my neighbor welcome. Then she'll say thank you. South Africa, there's nothing like that. Even mothers and children, you don't buy anything for your child. You buy candy, sweet, or ice cream for yourself, and you're walking with your child, and the child is following you, and you are eating. That was such a shock for me. I was not used to that. But then I learned, okay, this is their culture, so it is like that. The other thing is the type of food. Food is culturally oriented. And so we need to accept that. I had not learned that I have to accept that people have to eat what they want to eat, and I should not throw up. I should not feel like, I used to have problem cooking in the kitchen, which has cooked some types of food. Because I feel like it's too dirty for me. It's not worth eating. Because my culture, we don't eat that. One thing I'll let you know is what? In my village where I'm born and brought up, there are these castor trees. The castor trees, which brings down the castor seeds, which are ground for castor oil. They become big. And there are times when they are infested by these caterpillars, big black ones, brown ones. Oh my God. When we were little and you have to pass through the castor tree, you used to run like something else, because those caterpillars are just down on the floor and you feel like they will touch you and eat you up. I don't know where this fear was coming from when we were small. Even when we could go to the farm, because me, I'm brought up in the village and we could go to the farm. I could see those caterpillars and I ran like something else, and I'm racing the farm. Even today, I don't like it. Doing myself with my hands. Me, I don't like that kind of life. And those caterpillars were making it worse when we were little. And now I go to South Africa and we are walking to the market with this lady, and what do I see? Hey, Jehovah. Caterpillars being sold. Now, gorogoro. You know gorogoro? The 2 kgs thin. They are already dried. They are being sold the way we sell omena in Kariako. Those who come from Kenya. That gorogoro full of caterpillars. First thing I had to run, hey. And she was like, no, this is food. And she was buying. Oh. She was buying. She eats them. So she buys her caterpillars and we go back home and she's frying them like a very nice meat for eating with pap. Pap is ugali in South Africa. They call it pap, but theirs is very soft ugali. And they taught me how to make it. I usually make pap. One day I'll make for you pap. very soft ugali. So she fries those caterpillars. The ugali is here, the caterpillars on the plate. And sukuma wiki. And she's eating. And she expects me to join that. She expects me to use the same pot to cook now my chicken. Jehovah, will I eat now? This has cooked caterpillars. The house is smelling caterpillars. I don't know what to do. But I had to teach myself not to be affected by that and to respect people's culture. To respect people's way of life. That's very important. That's very important. So that one was a culture shock for me. That you don't tell people, welcome, come and we eat together, even if they don't want. At least trying them. We are used to that in Kenya. The other thing is that bit of eating caterpillars was a culture shock to me. It was not easy for me to accept until now. I came to learn I don't have to worry. I don't have to be there when they are eating. Let me be in the bedroom. When they finish eating, I can now come cook my food and eat my Kenyan food. Yeah, at least the pap bit was there. Then the other thing is that in Kenyan beetroots, we make juice with them. I learned how to cook beetroots in South Africa. That was new to me because where we come from, we only grated them and make juice. We had not cooked beetroots before. And so I learned how to cook boiled beetroots and make salad with beetroots when they are boiled. And that one I also introduced to my people. And that was that was a new thing to me and a nice thing to me. The other culture shock which I got is of tobacco. Smoking for girls. Now I'm used, when I came to America, I could not get shocked because I had seen it in South Africa. Women smoke without fear. Openly. And even put the tobacco here for the pounder one, which is the long time hookahs used to buy in a container. Bake, let me use that one. Bake, nyoro and mouth. It's a fashion in South Africa. If you're not using that one, you are not in fashion. So they used to put here, I don't know, God. They used to do this, and they are very, very comfortable. Now, let me tell you. What first shocked me before I came now to know that you don't. In fact, that time I was very judgmental. I was living a kind of salvation because I've been saved. And I'm saved even now. I was living in a kind of salvation where if you are doing this, then doing one, you know, matendo. Kama matendo yako hailingani na Biblia ile ya Moses, you know, the way Moses, the commandments of Moses. You are not walking with me this path. I didn't know that the grace of God does not want us to keep certain laws. It wants us to embrace Christ. And when we embrace Christ, He heals our addictions. I was like, you have to stop, you have to stop, you have to stop. So it was like, you are a sinner, you are going to hell. I was too judgmental, and I didn't know being too judgmental and too self-righteousness was also killing me, because to God I was not being Christ-like. I thank God for revealing that to me later on. But let me tell you how it worked for me so that God can reveal this to me. I've told you that we got accommodation to a pastor's house, and this lady was a pastor in a church. And she was very kind. Every evening she used to call all of us. She used to call us, our daughters. She was not hosting any male because of course, gender type. She didn't want to mix, because, you know, you are given like 4 people, 1 bedroom, 4 people, 1 bedroom, 4 people, 1 bedroom. So she didn't want, and the bathrooms, of course, you get to share with the male people. So we were all ladies in her house, and in the evening she used to call us for devotions. She would speak to us. She would pray with us. And it was warm. It was warm. But one thing, I was having a serious problem with breathing and coughing. Breathing and coughing. When I'm outside during the day doing my job and working, I'm not coughing. This house, once I enter, it's so stuffy for me. I start coughing, I start all the time. And I was like, oh my God, this house is, I thought it was because we have so many in one house. But guess what? One time, I felt like visiting the washroom in the night. So I woke up and I felt like, hey, I'm getting choked. I am like, I can't breathe. What do I do? So I think that's what woke me up. And I went to the bathroom and I opened the bathroom door. And guess what? My pastor lady. Guys, tell me, I've been brought in Kenya, not bought. How can you judge this one? I found my pastor woman sitting on the cistern of the toilet seat, bent down, smoking. So that is the smoke because it's in the night, middle of the night. That's the smoke which is filling the house when we are sleeping. That's why I'm coughing all this and I'm getting choked, feeling stuffy. And guess what she thought? My daughter, sorry, don't mind. God has me. God has got me. Don't mind. Don't worry about me. This smoking, I told God and He told me you deal with it. Don't even worry. Don't ask me about it. God has got me. I preach His word and He's got me. To me, that was not. And I felt like, you know, that time I was judgmental. I felt like, this woman is a pretender, you know. But do you know she was born again? I came to learn. When God came to put that love and grace, understand the grace of God which is free for us and which is not judgmental and which has nothing to do with what you do but accepting Christ, and then Christ works in you to remove the addictions and the desires of the flesh. Before then, I didn't know that you can say you are born again and you're smoking. Why? So it was, for me, I can't live in this house again. And I looked for another house and I moved out. That's how saved I That's how saved I was. That is not salvation or self-righteousness. That's self-righteousness. God forbid. I thank God for the knowledge now and the wisdom of Christ. So I moved out. I went to another one and I continued living in South Africa, working and standing at the same time. And God was there for me. God was there for me. I learned a lot of things. So I've told you how I learned about those caterpillars, how I learned about the food. And something else also which I experienced for the first time in South Africa was winter. I had not experienced winter like the one we experienced in the United States. South Africa, we get that severe winter. Quite severe. Quite cold. So I had not experienced that before. But I experienced it. And of course, it was a good thing to experience it for the first time. And of course, first you feel very cold because you think your sweaters from Kenya can help you. Until you're told, no, there are certain coats which you buy meant for winter. And of course, excuse me, those who are the Kenyan community who have lived in South Africa more, they showed us where to buy the winter coats. And we learned a lot. I learned about how to go shop things and resell. They have malls like those ones of Isri. So I learned all that. I learned how to go to the market outside of the city, in the country place. You know, where you buy your things, you put in the bus, and then you go. So when you get there, you just go sell your things, get your money, get back to, you go sell like wholesale. You know, it's like exchange. You've already have people who are waiting for you the other side of the countryside, and then you go give them, they'll be left to sell. You enter the bus, come back to town, and you continue with your studies or whatever else you're doing. So that is what happened to me in South Africa. Let me tell you about the study bit. When the Mzungu now lady, the white lady, she's South African born white lady, she loved me, she liked me, and she put me in the system, and she looked for me a new professor. A new professor. A new professor who is so committed to his work that he has worked with me. I've not finished my standards because standards is base and base. You go to this level, then you go to the next level. I'm still doing my next level, but when I stopped the one level. It's called deferment. I first deferred when I relocated to the United States. That's another story for another day. And my professor was very, very nice to me. He told me it's okay. He works with me. He goes to Kenya from South Africa on my behalf to meet with the other professors I work with in Kenya who are my mentors and discuss my case. That has been a very nice thing for me. And I say that is God orchestrating our lives. When God orchestrates your life, your journey, it will still come to a better and a good, happy ending. It doesn't matter. There may be wilderness. I've walked wilderness. In fact, the next video, I'll tell you of another immigration, because from South Africa, I didn't come to United States. I became an immigrant in another country within Africa. So I'll come and make that one also, and I tell you the culture shocks which I saw and the things I learned. I'll make that one. And then finally, I'll let you know how I landed in the United States. All these are footsteps being directed by God. But there is a part of action for you as a human being, because it is me who chose to go. That was my function. That was my choice. But God is a God of promise. Is a God who meets the desires of our hearts. He meets them. So when you take or make a choice, ask yourself, what benefits are in this choice? Is it something which will benefit me and the people around me and bring glory to God? Because I believe we want good life. Everybody wants good life. Nobody can go to God to pray for bad life. I don't believe. And anyway, there can't be. But sometimes we end up in a situation where life is not like we wished. But you know what? Trust the Lord. Trust God. He's still orchestrating your fate. And He will settle them to where you cannot imagine. Because now I'm in the United States. I don't know when the day I'll make this video. It's such a nice story to hear. I'll let you know. God is still working for me. God is still working for you too. Trust Him. And we will keep enjoying life. Don't even be distressed or stressed. I have been in stressful situations, but sometimes it's because we doubt God. Whenever things, like when I landed in South Africa and I found, oh, the guy is not there, I felt like, Jesus Christ, how can you let me leave my good job in Kenya and I come now to Tamak in a foreign country? And I was like, can I go back? You know, there. Until I met now this Kenyan lady who owned the hotel, who encouraged me and who made me get the work permit. That was very, very nice for her. Because I worked without fear. I moved without fear. I could go anywhere, not seeing police and running. No, I never visited the immigration office at only one time until I left South Africa to another country, greener pastures, of course. You move from one glory to another. You don't move from one level of lifting to a lower. That's all our God. Our God is one level of lifting to another. May it be even in the spirit. That is how it works. May it be sometimes, let me tell you, don't even say that you can move down. Yes, you can. But that is not the will of our God the Father. Heaven wants us to go up. Heaven wants our lives to be glory to glory, because that is what glorifies our Father. That is what glorifies God. And whatever glorifies God is what will come our way. What does not glorify God is not from God. So you have to refuse. You have to work hard to come out of a situation which doesn't glorify God. You have to try and ask God. You have to tell God, this is not what I wished. If you land, because sometimes you can land in a situation you wish to be there, you find this is not. Let God direct you to his will, and his will is good. Obey. Continue struggle. Also work hard. Struggle. And one thing I learned when you are an immigrant, and that helped me very much when I came to America. Come with an open mind that it is not your mother's kitchen. You are going that you can pack your food anytime. No, it is somebody's country. You don't have equal standards of argument as the person born there. So what do? You accept any job coming your way, because you don't need to finish your savings, or you don't need also to be in a point of need. You don't want. In fact, when I was in South Africa, my people thought I am making a lot of money. I don't know from where. But you see what I was doing? It was my grant price, the kawaka I was doing, the jobs I was doing. And I could combine, immediately pay for my baby's college fee, send whatever upkeep, pay for rent and everything. Yeah. Be left yourself, cooking yourself alone there, knowing, but cover your nakedness. And God helps us that. God gives us knowledge to how to do it. And that has been my journey, first experience as an immigrant, guys. First experience as an immigrant. Yeah. I lived with a pastor who was... But today, if I met her, I would tell her, oh my, I understand you now. Not when I judged you and left your house in... I can't. I don't want even to sleep another day in this house. I'm going. Guys, I don't know where you stand in your faith. But that is how I was. But God has redeemed me from that kind of self-righteousness and feeling like salvation is when you are not doing this. Salvation is when you are not walking with this one. So salvation is not when you are not sitting in a bar. Salvation is when you are going to parties which there is no alcohol. Salvation is when you are not going to... No. God taught me. May God teach you to know where to go, know where to live, know what to do to make your living. May God direct your footsteps into the desires of your heart, to meet the desires of your heart. Even if you want to become an immigrant, please do. It is workable. We have been, and this far we are still immigrants, and we enjoy life, and we thank God for life. So far, so good. I hope to meet you in the next one. Bye-bye. I hope you've learned something. I hope you have enjoyed. You have laughed with me. You have seen how I tuangad mekwa until today. Nilituanga kapisa by the help of God. God bless you. See you in the next one.